Good morning, beloveds. I hope you are having a most majestic start to your day or wherever you may later receive this through all time and space. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. For those that don't know me, I'm Brooke Grove. I am a near-death experiencer and a healer and teacher. And for Shakti Sundays, I'm your friend. We are just holding space together in this wild, like constantly wild time of up-leveling that we are all learning how to stay in our light, be frequency keepers, way showers, truth tellers, and activators of the best of our humanity. And that's the invitation. Highest and best, highest and best, highest and best. How do I serve? How do I take this chaos and find the beauty? And so today I'm here to hold space with you and explore that. I'll be honest, the field is so active. For those of you that are channels like myself or that are highly sensitive, as I know so many of you are, like, whoa, it is wild. I had to actually tell my guides yesterday that I was off. I rarely do that. I rarely am just like done, you know? But yesterday I was like taking a day off. I need to shut my field down and I need to just ground and kind of not be open for communication with everything. And I have to say, some of the information that has come through in this past week to myself, but also to so many other channels that I have the beautiful gift of knowing and receiving has been, it's potent, it's miraculous, it's beautiful. There's been so much dark mother energy. Been working a lot with Kali this particular week, who I might speak to today. We'll see what shows up in the field with you guys. But it's just big, potent, juicy energy. And the multidimensionals in these channeling events that I'm sitting in and experiencing and receiving and, receiving activations over and over again. It's just been so beautiful to witness how collectively the interdimensionals are stepping through, how that relates to the Sophia Christos family, the family of light, Mother Mary, Magdalene, and Yeshua, and the whole ascension journey. So I have pages of information that I've channeled this week. I'm not sure if I even want to go into that. I want to drop in for a minute and just see how you're doing. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here and saying good morning and sharing where you're from. I'm just so excited to see you all. So thank you. If anyone wants to drop in just a few words about what you're experiencing or how you're feeling right now, as it seems like every day is its own activation, even moment to moment, what we're receiving right now is a lot. It's a lot. So as I said, I've got tons of information that I'm down to share if it feels resonant for the group. But I would say one of the things I really want to offer that they have repeatedly communicated, and when I say they, I'm speaking to the highest realms. So I myself, as many of you know, work closely with Palladian teams. I work very closely with Mother Mary, Magdalene, and Yeshua as well, who have Palladian roots. And then in addition to that, I am open to all benevolent star systems. And there are so many that are here on Earth assisting us now. And one of the things that they're really bringing forward right now is a statement about sensing being a portal to sovereignty. So I'm going to expand on that in a moment, but I want to see what you guys are offering. Wonderful. I'm so stoked, William, to hear that you're feeling blissful and pleasant this morning. Yay to that. I love hearing when people are feeling good in the midst of all of this, because that's a testament to you doing the work and staying in your sovereignty and power. So kudos on that. I'm with you. I feel very blissful and very lit up this morning. So thank you for sharing that. If anyone else wants to drop in with how they're feeling, I'm down to receive that. What I was saying about the whole sensation and sovereignty thing, and I'm going to actually look to my notes here, but I don't feel I need them. One of the great communications that kept coming through from the higher realms is that we have this we have this idea, and it's been programmed into us, that we're basically like computers, and that we receive, we store. And because we've allowed this program to be very dominant in the human collective, and we've suppressed so much of what we authentically feel due to our childhood programming, our trauma, our, systems, whatever it is, our little self learns that it has to silence its real, valid, huge emotions. And so they get suppressed, and they suppressed, and they get suppressed. Now, as we do this, those little feelings, or those things that were meant to be sensations expressed in the moment, then they get bigger, and they're growing. And it's almost like mushrooms. They're spreading these roots into the entirety of the system. What the higher realms communicated over and over again this week is that that's not accurate. We are not meant to be these constrictive, systems. We're not meant to suppress. We're not meant to even identify. And this is a hard one, beloveds. I've struggled so much with this, but we're not even meant to identify with these narratives and these feelings and these stories and these internal archetypes. Everything is sensation. And at our core, when we are sovereign, we're able to sense things without identifying a story, without going into data programs of right or wrong. Is this good or bad? This reminds me of yada, 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 yada. What they really want us to do is to realize that we are expansive beings. We are like the cosmos. We are meant to constantly be expressing, constantly be sensing, constantly be thinking and feeling, but no attachments to it. Sincerely, they are reminding us that we came here to make sensations, and sensations don't have to make sense. And they don't have to have this whole narrative. So the way that they showed it to me and some of the other channels that were in the room that day is like to allow your experiences to be like little clouds. Like your thought comes in and there's a little cloud. Don't color it with the story of, oh, that cloud's sad, or that cloud reminds me of yada, yada, yada. Just allow it to be a cloud. Allow the thought to float through, or the emotion to float through, and you're witnessing it. And then what happens as you do this dance, and I've personally learned this through my writing of my memoirs recently, how much I identified. I was living a story that I didn't create. It was a story that had been handed to me by other people that didn't understand a highly sensitive child, or someone had been through the horrors that I had been through. And I was aligning with their vibrational pattern. So what the higher realms are saying here is really hard initially, because you're going to have to break through your programming. And that's a long, long, expansive journey. And I'm happy to support you in that if you need it. But today, the invitation is to, when thoughts and feelings arise, because they are going to, that's part of the human dance, and they happen sometimes subtly, sometimes beautifully, and sometimes disruptively, sometimes loudly, sometimes painfully. And so witness whatever's arising, sense it, you do not become it. Do not identify it with it. Do not give it your past. Your power is in the now. Your power is always in the now. And so if you allow the freshness of whatever sensation is arising to be with you, and you witness it, this beautiful thing happens. You stop constricting. You stop becoming a storage facility for your past, for your traumas, for your wounding, for the narrative of the collective, for the programs we've all been fed, and that we're all simultaneously purging right now. So again, the invitation today is to sense without becoming. Just allow. Just allow. It's a very tantric practice. It's something I've very much witnessed in the inner realms and received from Magdalene and Yeshua as teachers. So I highly, highly encourage that practice. And what another big one that the multidimensionals brought forward this week is how self-love, and I'm not talking like bubble baths and like, pink memes about how to love yourself. I'm talking about the hard and holy reality. Authentic self-love is wholeheartedly the universal key to everything. There is so much coming through right now about the infinity symbol. I mean, it's coming through from the angelics, it's coming through from my own teams, it's coming through in some of the temples I work in and receive from. So there's this infinity theme coming through. But what that shows me, because it's being shown as an archetypal key, is that literally self-love, authentic self-love, is a universal key to the quantum. It's a universal key to everything you think you're seeking outside. You know, there's such a strong Gnostic remembrance, as Christ said in the Bible, which I don't read the traditional Bible. You guys know I'm not much of a traditionalist. But when you return to again and again, the message is clear that the kingdom of light, or the kingdom of creation, however you want to witness or receive that, is inside of you. And the only limitation to you receiving it, beloveds, time and time again, and my own history has taught me this so tenderly and sometimes fiercely, is your limitations to self-love. So that, if you want to know how to change the world right now, is really look at where you're not loving yourself. And there's the answer. And then become the person who can hold all of those complexities, all of those contradictions, all of the brokenness with tenderness. And you will be the antidote to what's going on in the world today, however it arises day to day. I see you guys. I'm glad that you're all connecting. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I hear that. Jen was sharing with us that she's getting so many downloads, but there's a lot of interference. There is a lot of interference right now. I think that's where it's like super, super, super important that when you're waking up, I keep saying this to clients. I feel like I'm like a mantra about this with people, but I have to keep saying it because they don't hear me. When you're brushing your teeth in the morning and night, that's when you need to be doing your energetic hygiene, because then it's absolute that you're doing it at the start of your day. It's absolute you're doing it at the end of your day, because as energy sensitives right now, there is a lot of dark interference trying to keep you out of your light. And I'm not saying that trying to scare you in any way, because it can't even touch me. I work so hard to stay in my light. So it's not an option. It's just like, yeah, I see you cute. I'll bug off. And so it doesn't disrupt me or like bother me, but that's part of it. Like when you're sovereign and you're in your power and you're not scared of it, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's a collective funk that's in the air right now. That's some of the programming. That's some of the malicious darkness, but it can't touch me because I live in light. I consume light. I emit light. I have no space in my field for that anymore. And therefore, if I go into public, or if I'm in certain virtual experiences, or I'm connecting with certain individuals for healing, and a lot of that comes at me, I'm never worried. I'm never scared. It's just sending it off on its evolutionary journey for its highest and best, but it cannot be in a sovereign being's field. So thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. It's true. Keep moving forward no matter what. That's absolutely everything you just said. Hey, Chris, I'm so stoked you're here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, and Jen's concurring that the infinity signs are coming through. Absolutely, absolutely. And yay, oh, you're here again, my friend. Thank you for joining. I love that aligned for you, the self-love key. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, circling back to the infinity loop. It's wild. Like as I've mentioned to so many of you, I work with the sacred energies of creation, which it's a sacred union energy. So it's beyond just divine feminine work. It's beyond sacred father work. It's really all about unity. It's really the expression of the one with the balanced feminine and the balanced masculine. It contains everything. There are no exceptions to this energy. So you can really hold space for it all. And one of the activations that's coming through in these teachings this week is specific to the infinity. And it's reminding us, and I loved how the language it was using, because this is a sacred technology, it's a sacred language. How it comes through is raw energetics. So I'm doing my best as a human to translate these very potent alchemical forces. Yet it was showing to think of ourselves as like, basically, this is me, the being, my thoughts and feelings are part of that journey. And then to draw the infinity loop from the core of myself as a creator, or yourselves as creators or creatrixes, and then to imagine that this is you and you are weaving creation into everything, literally everything, because again, creation contains it all. So if you are creating the world within, your external world is your dance with infinity. It's your dance with creation. So to weave, just, you can do that as a practice today. Take the infinity 8 symbol and weave it. And like, if you're struggling today, I took my kids to this field trip the other day. We have this wonderful homeschooling alternative learning program that they're in. And we went to this art museum that happens to be right on the ocean, has these gorgeous views, and water. And as we were doing that, we were given these little perspective things, like they just cut a little window into a piece of paper and they told the kids to imagine you're the artist and what would you like to see, and then to draw from that. So I thought that was a really beautiful reminder of that we get to be that. We get to have this perception and we get to choose it. So you can think of your infinity loop, if you want, as your little artist portal. And what would you like to weave creation into, or what would you like to witness being part of creation today within you? But the invitation from this practice is to remember what you are creating internally, you are receiving externally as well. What you receive externally, you create internally. And that's a potent message that we all need to remember right now when there's so much interference coming through the media, our families, our friends, even our lower minds, our programs. Remember, you are a creation portal. You have the capacity to alter your perspective and your senses at any moment and choose what you're receiving. So I hope that lands and that you can take that little practice, because I feel it's super, super effective. If you're struggling in any area right now, finances, family, love, you can take that practice and really go deep with it. Like, I want to infinity, I want to weave creation into this area that I'm struggling, and then get really specific with creation, because remember, it contains it all. Yes, yes, there's so much between the dark and the divine. Yes, that's a super potent, super potent. So Jen's saying something about divine darkness and darkness. I love that. I love, 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 love that you are highlighting that, because that's a big one. I was working with Kali a lot this week, and I was hesitant to come on here and talk about Kali only because people like get really, whoa, they get really like guarded around her, or they get like really like wounded or scared. Like, I was sitting in a meditation course with another near-death experiencer that I really, really deeply respect, and he was talking about her, and a lot of people, they just don't even want to receive the information because they've received like her image and they are scared. And I couldn't be more the opposite. Like, to me, when something's difficult, Kali is like one of the absolute first divine feminine archetypes I go to. She's what Jen's eliminating when she says the divine darkness, or the divine dark feminine. And there's so many dark feminine archetypes that are so potent and so healing, like Kali. And I know when I work with her mantras, I just feel like so wildly held. Like, I can't even describe. Kali's the archetype that she will hold it all. Mother Mary does the exact same thing, yet she does it with like this softness. With Kali, you feel the fire. You feel the fire. Like, she wants to purify it. So if you're coming to her and you're like, I feel shame, I feel disgust, I'm pissed off, this world is dark, this world's ugly, this world sucks, Bring that to her. Go to Kali. If you have righteous rage right now, which is totally, totally righteous for a reason, if you're grieving, if you're sad, if it's all wearing you down, Kali, 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 because she can even hold the dark interference. If you're like, hey, I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't know what's truth. I don't know what I'm receiving. I'm tired. I'm tired. Hold me, hold me, hold me. This is the feminine archetype to call in. This is the one to say, great mother, I'm feeling it all and it is all hurting. Purify me, hold me, hold me, hold me. And she will, she will, she will, she always will. And there will be no judgment, no shame, radical compassion. But with Kali, in addition to that radical compassion, you get this fierceness, you get this protection, you get holy fire. And right now, some of us really need that. We need to feel like, hey, this isn't working. I know I'm here to change it. I want to be held. And my rage is an initiation. It can be both, beloveds. I'm full of light and I'm also full of fire. I feel you if you want things to change. I feel you. That's like what we're here for. We are the change makers. So you're allowed to get pissed off. You're allowed to be full of love and also be filled with fury for some of the things that are going on right now. It can be both. And if you're not, awesome. But most people are oscillating right now. And I would invite you to really work with Kali. Her mantras are super, super, super powerful. I can drop some in the chat if you need them, if you don't know what they are. But they're, I mean, it's wild. You can also download them to listen to them for free on YouTube. But just listening to her mantras, I'm gonna forewarn you. If you want change, she's a great archetype to work with because she's going to hold you, but she's also going to inspire what's burning away, and it will. Like, you will feel things begin to burn away if you work with her mantra in devotion. And beloveds, I must say this, a mantra doesn't work one time. There's a reason they say them 108 times in traditional Hindu and Indian contemplative practices. There's a reason, because the repetition brings you in to the sacred technology of the mantra. So I would highly recommend listening to mantra for Kali, doing it internally. If you aren't comfortable, a lot of people come to me and they're not comfortable with Sanskrit and speaking it. I totally get it. So if that's the case, do it internally. Do it internally. And it doesn't need to be phonetically correct. You are invoking feminine archetype simply by your intention. And I promise you, she will receive it and she will activate great change and great holding in your life. So thank you for sharing that, Jennifer, because partially why I responded with Kali to what she said, which is about a big difference between dark, evil entities and divine darkness, is that Kali will burn away any false light, any negative interference, whether it's from the lower astral realm or it's from people, places, and things you're engaging with in your direct lived experience or online. A lot of the dark that I'm pulling off people right now in private healing sessions is actually coming from what they're consuming online. So I just want you to be really cognizant about what you're choosing to take in. And yes, thank you, Jennifer. I love both of those too, wholeheartedly. They're great archetypes to work with. And I constantly have to remind people that when you're talking about the divine feminine, you have to also realize that she carries with her these darker feminine aspects. And if you are in true connection with the divine feminine, then you are going to be receiving them all. There's no bypassing all sides of creation. So excellent, excellent, excellent point. I want to look in here really quickly just to see if there's anything I want to share from what this one's actually really good, from what the stars were sharing with us in these recent channeling events. So one thing that they kept reminding us, and this was across all fields, so it didn't matter which star team you were talking with, but was that we need to be very cognizant, what's my core frequency? Because if you start to get to know what's my core frequency, I can tell you, as someone that's a channel and that has had a lot of interference from dark realms when I didn't know my gifts and I didn't know energetic boundaries and I didn't know that you can literally become what you're receiving, or that if you consume certain things, like alcohol is a classic one, you can open these portals to allow these other types of consciousness to come through. I didn't know those things and how open and sensitive I was earlier in my journey. And so one thing that you can get to do that's really, really simple is to start to understand what's your core frequency. Like at your highest and best, what typically do you vibrate from? Because the minute that core frequency shifts, that's when you know you have interference. And I'm seeing some highly sensitives right now, beloveds, that have had interference packed into their system for decades, decades, decades. And when I help them learn to take some of this off, they're coming back into a harmonic resonance. And that's what the star beings and the Sophia Christos family call this harmonic resonance. When you start to come back into stability between both the masculine and the feminine within, you will feel a lightness of being. And for many people, they haven't felt that. They haven't even known it since childhood. So I would invite you to see what your core frequency is now and start to learn that, because when you feel that core frequency shift, that's your sign you need to disengage from whatever you're consuming, whether, again, it's food, people, places, things, alcohol, it doesn't matter, cannabis, whatever, anything you're consuming that takes you out of that core frequency. That's when you know, like, this isn't working and I need to pivot and self-correct. So I do feel that that's really, really, really important right now. And then the second level of inquiry they were saying is, what's my resonance field? Like when I'm at my highest and best, what am I putting out into the world? Because that's your field. So to look at those two things on a daily basis, it will get you light years ahead. And they pointed out that you can simply ask them for assistance, for vibrational assistance. Remember, these inner realms, whether we're talking about the Sophia Christos family or any avatar that you choose to work with that's highest and best is, again, going to be a pure being of light, Buddha, Krishna, there's so many. We could go down a rabbit hole with how many wonderful ascended masters they are. They are all waiting for you in the inner realms. Their beingness is still very alive. The archetype is alive. It is a living entity and is accessible to absolutely everyone. But universal law here is you have to ask, you have to ask, you have to ask. So simply closing your eyes and asking to receive from them, from any higher interdimensional realm, they will assist you. And I mean, point blank, I believe it was Doctorians were saying, we are here. Just simply ask for vibrational healing and assistance. And again, I'm always going to encourage you to say, from teams of light, for the highest and best, for service to all. Okay. And anytime that people, a lot of times people tell me this is egoic, or they feel like they're asking for personal help when, like, the world's at crisis. I just invite you to remember that your personal healing is a collective healing. There's nothing selfish about wanting to take care of your human animal first. We need you, and we need you in your light. So asking for assistance, focusing on yourself before you go out and you serve, that's a prerequisite to me. So please don't feel selfish in any capacity. So yes, I think that's super important to share. Another thing they kept saying is that everything emerges from within. Basically, we are the signal. And I say this all the time to highly sensitives. Like, we feel like we're antenna because we are. Okay. Many of us are transmitters and we're activators. Like, our systems are literally here to change the frequency. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with that, there's so many practices I and others can help you with. But the first and foremost is clearing your vibrational field on a daily basis and remembering that you cannot serve unless you are pure, clear, and open, grounded, embodied channel. We need you here. We don't need you up in the upper chakras where so many highly sensitives like myself like to live. I lived up there. I was completely spiritually dysregulated for many, many years after my near-death experience. To serve, we need you here and down in your lower wisdom centers, grounded to this beautiful earth walk. So yes, yes, I see an incoming. Yes, yes. Oh yes, what is that? There's a question coming in. So let's see about asking for guidance. Is it something we need to do repeatedly? I'm huge on repetition. I do feel that the more you ask and the more descriptive you are in your ask, the better. Okay. You can also be like, hey, I've asked for assistance. I'm not sure if I'm receiving it yet. Could you give me a sign? A sign I will readily know and understand. My ego can be like super tricky. And in the early days of my awakening, I would ask for like literal signs. And I'm not kidding. Sometimes they fell on my feet as I was crossing the street. And they made very clear sense once that those things happen. So get really specific with them. That's a great, great, great question. I absolutely love that. So thank you for asking. So, they kept reminding everyone that we are the creators, we are the portals. They really wanted humanity to understand that, like, at our core, that's what we're here to do. Like, we are creative beings, and we are meant to come here and be creative. That's why so many people feel like just overwhelmed and disgusted right now, because their sovereignty has been taken, and they've been following this prescription that was assigned to them from their ancestors. And they're working and they're making money, but they're not living. They feel like worker bees, and they are let down, and they feel disenchanted with it all. That's creativity saying, feed me. It doesn't matter what you create. You can, like, paint like a child and just make like some beautiful mess to get your energy out. You can write, you can dance, you can draw, you can sing, you can, to arrange your house in a way that you find beautiful and becoming. It doesn't matter what you create. What does matter is that you're creating, because that part of your soul is really needing nourishing right now in a world that is being programmed with AI and falsity and distortion and all kinds of dark interference. Your creativity right now is an antidote. And it does not matter how you choose to create, but beloveds, please, please, please create. Absolutely. I love that point that they shared with us. And they kept using this word. I love that they kept using this word as it was coming through multiple channels. That there's a majesty. No, I can't read my own channeling handwriting. Yes, there's a majestic nature to human design. And a lot of us aren't even we're not even enchanted with the miracle of our own aliveness, with the gift of our DNA, with all of the things we can do. So sit with that. Like, you are majestic in the eyes of the divine. You are loved, every single part of you, and you are here to create. You are a child of creation, here to create. So I invite you to sit with that today, because I feel that's beautiful medicine, and they really wanted to say that so many times. I've spoken to the storage, but really trusting yourself. Oh, they were big on this all week too. Trusting yourself as a conscious co-creator with the infinite all of everything. Trusting yourself as a sovereign being, meaning if you don't know what to believe, trust yourself. Just trust yourself. You don't need to listen to all the noise. You don't need to think about who's right and wrong. Trust your intuition. Trust your higher selves, because they're speaking in volumes if only you listen. Channeling these rooms makes you very thirsty. So water too. That was really funny. A couple channels, they pointed out, like, every time they would sit in the group, they would point out that everyone was dehydrated. Now, I drink an exceptional amount of water, so it was like shocking to me that they kept saying that to all of us. But if you are channeling, or you are highly sensitive, and you are energetically overwhelmed right now, the number one thing you can do is drink water. And I'm talking a lot of water. Your body needs it to support all of these energies that are coming in. And even those of you that don't think you're receiving it, beloved, you are, because the earth is receiving them, and you are her child as well. So please, please, please hydrate. They say, "Believe what you feel you know," which I feel that I've really, said that already, but that, discern and this is the same this is a different team that was speaking, yet discern your thoughts and emotions from your vibrational essence. So once again, we're hearing that same theme come through the higher realms where it's don't know what you know and know what you're hearing, but then come back to your vibrational essence, your being, that core frequency, that harmonic soul song that is only yours and it is pure to you. Come back to that, return it again and again. And they say when you come back to this core part of your being, that you will be moved beyond the matrix reality. So no matter what you think of what's going on right now, and no matter what your personal belief systems are, just coming back into harmonic resonance is going to allow you to be liberated from that. It's really where your sovereign power is. And this, I love how they said this. When emotions, memories, meanings, or beliefs become assigned, they become their own living entities. Let that resonate for a moment. When emotions, memories, meanings, beliefs are assigned, they become their own living entities. How many of you have lived a story or lived an emotion or lived a projection that another person or a former part of your life assigned to you? And it's only when, something goes bad, like relationships are a great example of this. Like you don't realize you're carrying wounds, okay, from a relationship until you're in the next relationship, correct? So you can think of these patterns as living entities. They are of your consciousness, they're in your field, okay? But they are living entities until we learn how to break these data portals. And that's what they're calling them, data portals. They were really specific about this. Like you're basically, thinking your computers and you're carrying these data portals, but that means then we're the ones programming it, beloved. So we can choose to start sensing this, freeing it, clearing it, and stepping into our sovereignty, which I absolutely love that because as they say here, when thoughts and emotions are sensed together, but not in unity, meaning you can sense the thought, you can sense the emotion, but you're not becoming it. You can shift reality. So again, you can witness, you can observe, you can feel it all, but you're not becoming it. You are staying centered, you're staying in your sovereign. And that's where you can shift reality. And that's absolutely true. That's really, if you want to believe in manifestation, we are now well beyond what was been talked about with 4D manifestation. We are like in the 7D and beyond level. And to do that, you have to play by different rules, which means you have to become sovereign in everything you do. That is where your power is. And that is what most people are lacking. Most people are not sovereign. They are being run by all kinds of programs, some their own, some are those little data portals in the consciousness that they're carrying around. And a lot of it's internet, a lot of it's, workplace environments, the people they choose to be around, the relationships that they're in. But the invitation over and over and over and over and over again, whether you work with Kali today or you just take some of these words into your day and just play with them, is sovereignty. Sovereignty. Where am I giving away my sovereignty? That's a huge question. And it's a question that will change your life if you start to look for the energy leaks. Energy leaks are big right now. Look for the energy leaks and you will find your power. I promise you. I absolutely promise you. So again, they really, by not being saturated by senses, you can create a new. So again, this is where this witnessing, like the world is chaotic. I witness it, but I'm not going to bring it into my field. I'm going to stay into my light. And as they say, you can create a new. You are in your power. And that thought and emotion often blinds us from our creative capacity. As a highly sensitive, I find that liberating because, there's this program, particularly as an artist as well, that, we have to be like so passionate and mad with, emotion or whatever to create brilliance. It's not necessarily true. Of course, there are iconoclasts that did that. A lot of them also made pretty terrible deaths because they lived that way. You don't have to live that way, beloveds. You can be creative and brilliant and yet fully sovereign in your response to thoughts and emotions. Yes, thank you. I love it. I'm so glad you were able to be here. I'm glad it's resonating. So, this I loved. Okay, so this one, I don't even remember what team this came from, but again, they are all the highest and best expressions of the one. They really wanted to remind you, beloveds, that your human form is about freedom. I know, as someone that's had a near-death experience and that was sick for the majority of their youth, that the body did not always feel like a portal to freedom, but that's literally what they wanted to say. It is your gateway to freedom. You may never get to experience another human life. I don't know. I don't know if that's in your contract. I don't know if it'll happen again. So enjoy what you have while you have it. This constrictive nature we've got with the body, it's got to go. It's got to go, because your body it is a way to liberate your soul if only you work with it. Somatic expression, somatic experiencing, chanting, dancing, anything you can do to move the energy in the body. But you will start to understand that mind and body have never been separate, and that your body is a portal to liberation. So if you're feeling like really down, if you're sick, if you're dealing with any kind of physical illness, I can tell you that movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. I know I had 2 children when doctors told me I would never conceive naturally. I defied everything they told me. They told me I wouldn't walk without, prolonged assistance, yada, yada. I did it in 10 days. They told me, I wouldn't have children. I did that within 3 years. They told me I would not live past 40. I did that for 5 years solid now. So, there's a lot of things that the medical system doesn't understand about our consciousness. There's a lot we don't understand about consciousness. The field of consciousness research is in its infancy right now. We are babies studying it. We are little spirit babies trying to figure our way into this infinite field of research. But everything is consciousness, and your body is one of the master storytellers and also alchemists. So I invite you to work with somatics in any way you are called. Yes. Oh, all good, Chris. I'm glad you got to come back in. There was a lot. Who knows what I just covered, but you can always circle back to the videos, beloveds. So yes, all good. I'm glad you were able to come back in though. And yeah. And see, here's a theme. You can see they keep going in these themes here, but these are different teams again. And I just want you to see the repetition. And this answers one of your questions about repetition. The universe works in patterns. It works in repetition as well. So I encourage you to repeat as much as you need to. But they said, yet again, we are not containers. We are openers. We sense, but we do not personalize. It is about the freedom to experience all sensations without becoming the author of them. That's potent medicine. That's potent medicine. Hold that, because that's a practice that can take you really, really far. And they reminded us, this is how the cosmos operates. This is how the cosmos continues to expand, by sensing, witnessing, and allowing it all, but not becoming any one part. That is a holy invitation to all that's unfolding right here and right now, to witness, to allow, to receive, to show compassion, to show grace, and yet not become it. Stay in your light. Stay in your light. It's potent, 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 potent medicines. And they kept reminding us as well that this is coming through source, creator, the infinite all of everything, not one, dogmatic principle, not one religion. It's so beyond all of that. It is literally the one that goes by many names and none at all. It is creation. It is the holiest of holy lights. And it is, as I was shown in my near-death experience, a part of you. as I was magnetized, words are failing me at times today, as I was magnetized towards the light, like unlike any other, it was, to me, it appeared like crystal clear, and it was surrounded by this gorgeous diamond white fire. As I was pulled towards that, I asked my angelics, and again, this goes beyond words. It goes beyond words when we're in those realms. It was all telepathic. It was all felt. It was all sensory. I asked, is that where I'm from? And they said, beloved, this is where all things are from. From this great light you came, from this great light you will return. And you have a choice now. Do you wish to return to this light, or do you wish to go back? And as I've said in my countless NDE talks and my forthcoming memoirs, I made an instantaneous decision. I knew I wanted to go back. They had shown me a download of the earth, and she was different. She was so different. She was vibrating the citrine light, and I get angel chills just saying it now. She had this energy to her that I knew, beloveds, that is why I'd come to this place. And she was surrounded by these gorgeous citrine hands of light, and all of these human-like, angelic-like beings, they were like human angelic hybrids, were surrounding her, and they were holding this field, like this halo around her, and she was changing and they were changing, and I knew that I was part of that, and that's why I had come back. And in those moments, the angelics let me know that if I chose to come back, I would meet more trauma, and that it would get harder, and that there would be at least 10 years before this citrine light occurred. And I said, take me back, without any hesitancy. I would spend 9 years regretting that as a human egoic being. Yet these times that they showed me, these times of awakening, these times of humans connecting through their light and holding each other in light, and the planet simultaneously shifting, those times are now, beloveds, and it's a family affair. You are part of those teams. If you resonate with me and anything I've shared today, then you are part of that family of light. And you are so supported. You are so supported, and you are so wanted and needed and celebrated and nourished. And all you have to do is look for the light within and places that activate and illuminate that light, or respark it for you when you forget. And beloveds, I'm always here for you in that way if you need me. Today, I also have a private integration circle. They're very small. They're on Zoom immediately after Shakti Sundays. So if you just need to come and hold space with a lighthouse, I got light, I can hold you, and I heal and teach in these containers, whatever arises. There's no right or wrong. I'm doing these at a really reduced sliding scale of 22 all the way up to 222. You pay what you can afford. Okay, you pay what you can afford. I don't care the number you drop. All I want is to hold space for those that need help right now. So if that ever resonates, know that you can join us any Sunday. My Venmo information's in the show notes and also at the start of the chat. So let me know how this is resonating. I see so many things coming in. Yeah, how many living masters are upon the earth? I don't know. I don't actually know that. Oh, someone's calling through my phone or my computer right now. Sorry, guys. No, I don't know that. What I can tell you is that the invitation's different now. Like before, we needed avatars like Yeshua and Buddha and some of the walking ascended masters to inspire us. We needed them and for a long time, because humanity wasn't ready to do the work of light and the work of the Sophia Christos families in our own sovereign souls. That energy has shifted. And as they keep saying to me and to others, is that once we used to read the scriptures, now we are becoming the scriptures. So we literally, many of us are not, ascended masters, but we're living the language of light. We're living the teachings of light. We're living gnosis, which is the direct knowing of God. And that's what we're meant to do. That's what many of the awakened ones will continue to do in the coming years and all this wondrous shifts that are coming for us. So that's a great, great, great question. And to step into your sovereignty and help facilitate a human hug pivot. I love that language. Brilliant language. It's all about getting clear, beloved. The clearer you are, and the more you're able to come from a place of unconditional love, the more that you can hold space for your own demons, your own darkness, and not judge it, the more you become the human hug. The more you can help the pivot, the more you help the shift. So the best medicine you can do for our beloved planet right now, for our shift in consciousness, is to really get clear, get sovereign, stay in your light, stay in your light. Again, remember, everything we consume, we become. So be very mindful about what you're putting into your body, the relationships that you're choosing, what you choose to digest or ingest as far as media and external noise. Stay in your sovereign, stay in your sovereign. So yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And Chris is right. So many of these shifts are in the traditional Bible as well. I mean, Revelations, that's a trip to go through and read through right now. So yes, there's so much. I mean, if you look at all the traditions, they all contain something. And I can tell you, when I went to, a near-death conference back in, I think it was 2012. It was definitely 2012. It was when they were talking about the Mayan prophecies, and we had the blessings of having Mayan elders and Tibetan elders, and they were sharing their wisdom prophecies for the coming new age. And they were very clear that they received this information channeled across the world at different times. They basically received the same exact information, and that it had been mistranslated, that it wasn't about the end of humanity, as a lot of people were misreading the Mayan prophecies. It was about the end of a type of humanity and the rebirthing of a new type of collective consciousness. That's what we're in now. That's what we're in now. And whether we look to it from a biblical Gnostic perspective or a traditional Bible, or looking through the sacred text of the Sanskrits and the yogis, it's all there. It's been given to avatars. I mentioned last week, the palm leaf manuscripts. Highly recommend, if you haven't heard of those, checking those out. Channeled information from avatars across all religions, all traditions, and the information is exactly the same. Again, the universe speaks in patterns. When patterns show up, listen, listen, listen. We are quantum physics being gifted the miracle of life at this moment, and everything you participate in is the pattern of your own creation. So dance with that today, celebrate that today. Yes, yes. And as Jen's saying, it's not the end, it's the beginning of something beautiful. Again, non-linear is the dance of the feminine, and it's a dance of much of the energy that's coming up now. And endings are always, always, always beginnings. So if you guys liked what I dropped in today, there's a lot of information. Please make sure you like and you comment on the actual video, not just in the chat, though I appreciate your aliveness and the juiciness today so, so, so much. But on your way out today, please do me a solid, drop a like and a comment at some point in the day to honor the energy exchange. I just love showing up for you all. I put my heart into it. So please just honor that on your way out today. I'm so enlivened by your presence, by your humility, by your care in the chat. This lights me up. It's a great way to start Sundays. So thank you for being here. I'm off to start the circle in a moment. If you're joining me there, the link's been set out. If you want to join today, as I said, the information's up top in the chat, and you can just Venmo me and I'll drop you the link. But I'm going to go ground for a few moments. Please drink water if you're coming, because this is a pretty potent energy transmission through words. And I'll see you guys soon. And if not, I'll see you all next week for Shakti Sundays at 9 a.m. PST. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been an absolute honor. It was so much fun. I love you guys. Bye for now.